Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late November 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Scorpio gang here in late November? Scorpio season has just concluded, so I hope everyone had a happy birthday. But what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio in late November. Let's get this card out. And yeah, the deck is already trying to jump out of my hands, my friends. So I guess it wants to speak to us. There we go. Nice. Cool. So I really do like this card. We have this little guy that makes me chuckle every time I see him. He's extremely smart, extremely intelligent. And we see him holding the skull. And there's a lot of layers to it. I know it looks like a funny little piece of imagery, but there is actually a lot here, and it reminds me of the Ace of Swords. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. And while you're down there, if you could hit that new hype button, I'm not sure what it does, but it would definitely make me happy if you check that out too. All right, enough of the promo, into the reading, I promise. Let's talk about this interesting figure here. So we see the monkey. He's dressed up in a Shakespearean costume. He's holding the skull, contemplating his life. There's all sorts of mathematics and equations behind him. He's got a typewriter. He's sitting on books. So obviously this implies that he is at an elevated space mentally. Extremely smart, extremely intelligent. So when I see this in the beginning of a reading, especially for Scorpio, it's like, ooh, now is a great time to learn things, absorb information. Your mind could be very sharp. So even if you've been feeling a little cloudy, or even if you haven't been feeling sharp, that page is probably going to turn real soon, because this energy sees it all. Like you don't get one past this card, that's for sure. It's great for any sort of mental pursuit as well. So even if you're just trying to get your mind right, this is good. It's like I am master of my mind. And it does give me Ace of Swords vibes, which I like to call the sword of truth. So it's like I'm connecting dots, I'm seeing things, I'm putting puzzle pieces together and stuff like that. So I like it. The only downside with this card to me would be a little too much thinking, a little too much overthinking, or a little too much mental stimulus. So we're just going to let him chill there. He's doing some important work. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. Let's see what we got. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled Big Karmic Return. And one thing I do want to mention is when I have return energy and karmic energy sandwiched together, that's an energy that could bleed over for a couple weeks. But to me, it did seem like some sort of cycle repeating or something popping back up again where it's like, oh, hi again, Scorpio. So the door is open for that, even if it hasn't happened yet. Keep that in mind. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Scorpio gang in late November. What do we got? What do we got here? Thank you. Nice, firm. I like the 9 of Pentacles. That's good. That's a complementary energy for Scorpio. I mean, this is like Capricorn-esque type of energy to me, and that works. Let's get a couple more. What we got for Scorpio? Thank you. 9 of Cups. Scorpio power card. All right, we're looking good. We are looking pretty good so far. Let's not jinx it, right? Let's get one more. What we got for Scorpio gang? Thank you. Cool. Powerful. All right, this might be one of those readings, Scorpio, and it's been a while, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. So we got the Magician and the bonus card, the 4 of Wands, the 11-11 card. Ooh, I'm getting excited just feeling the energy off these cards right now because I feel like I haven't seen a reading like this in a while for Scorpio. So this is a very welcome, relieving type of energy to me. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements first. I feel like that's always super important. And we have a good mixture. Just like with all the other water signs this week, there's been a good mixture of elements playing. So right here, we start with Earth. That's a complementary energy for Scorpio gang. It can represent feelings of stability in general. It represents work, money, finances, home, family, living situations. So you see what I mean? It's the world that we live in and that surrounds us. It's not so intangible. It's very much tangible when we have Earth. Now, the downside to this, sometimes Earth energy could be a little clunky. Sometimes it could be an energy that uh, takes a long time or feels stuck. And that's the only downside that this could really show. But moving over, we have water, which kind of greases the wheels, and that's Scorpio's power element here. So the realm of emotions, feelings, the internal world. So whereas this is tangible, this is intangible, but they both work, at least on an elemental level. Water could represent relationships, it could represent all sorts of things, creativity, emotional expression. And then back here we have the magician who is master of all elements. So it's like we have everything out. Even back here we have fire, the realm of action, movement, passion, drive. So I like the elemental balance. So maybe these are different things, right? Maybe these are different situations that are all seeming to line up in a good way. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with a very, very sturdy card, and I like to see it. We have the Nine of Pentacles, and we see this lovely lady. She's chilling in her garden. She has her pet bird surrounded by the pentacles, and she is happy. She is secure. So I always say, to me, the Nine of Pentacles is a card of wins, victories, blessings, abundance. This is someone that's happy. Even though she's not the Ten of Pentacles, she's happy where she is. So there's an energy of contentment with this. Now, if we go a little deeper in on the Nine of Pentacles, it's a very independent card as well. And knowing how Scorpio rolls, being a Scorpio moon myself, and I always like to brag about it, the Nine of Pentacles is super independent, and Scorpio is a very independent sign, where it's like, you know what? I don't need help. I'll do it myself. So whether this is Spirit saying, you know what, Scorpio, you're right. You can do it yourself. You got this. That's a nice encouragement. Now, sometimes being a lone wolf could be more difficult than it seems. We'll see what the clarifiers say about that. But I always take this as a positive until something proves us otherwise. Now, the downside to the Nine of Pentacles is just like the Pentacle suit. This energy can be a little stubborn, it can be a little stuck. So we're just going to have to see. But the initial energy is making me very optimistic. So again, I'm not going to go overboard just yet. But moving to the middle, we have the Knight of Cups. So on top of being the Scorpio power element, this is a Scorpio power card. It doesn't matter whether male, female, or anything in between. This is not gender specific. So in my style of reading, it could tell us something that's coming towards us or a way we might be feeling. Now, a big thing with Knights, they represent action. They represent movement, real world action, and communication. They're messengers. This Knight of Cups is a smooth talker, silky smooth, easy flowing, easy going. We love this energy. So again, if we're not just looking at your vibe, this energy is going smooth, or it seems to be. Now, if this isn't a Prince Charming type individual that's very good with their words, the Knight of Cups just moves at the right speed, at the right pace. And that's why I said in the beginning, to me, it seems like certain things are starting to align for a lot of Scorpios, even if you don't see it, even if you don't realize it. So keep that in mind. I'm sure everyone's heard the term, like, when the stars align. I feel like for some Scorpios, the stars are aligning. And if you watch me on a regular basis, you know that I don't normally say things like that. Even though I'm optimistic, I try to keep everything somewhat pragmatic. I feel like stars are aligning here. Now, moving to the back end, we got the Magician. Beautiful. Love this card. And I didn't talk about the negatives of the Knight of Cups. Yes, it could be an energy that plays off emotions and emotional manipulation, but I'm not feeling that. But anyway, the Magician, master of all elements. This is a huge card for being an energetic conduit. So again, it's like I'm taking energy, I'm alchemizing it, and I'm putting it forward. There's an energy of flow here. This is heavily involved with spirituality, spiritual practice. So even if you're not a very spiritual Scorpio, now might be a good time to at least dig into that information. The Magician's huge when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to creating. So whether Spirit's saying like, hey, Scorpio, we got your order, something you've been praying for, manifesting, meditating on, creating is coming in. This magician tells me that your powers to manifest are heightened through the roof when this card is here. Now, the downside of the magician is that he could represent control. And sure, sometimes in life things happen that's out of our hands. So, in his downside, he could represent situations where there's not much we could do about it, where it's like, all right, it is what it is. Or it could be someone that's too controlling. Watch out for any individuals around you that are too controlling about you or a narrative. On to the back end, your bonus, one of the best bonuses we could pull, the Four of Wands, the 1111 card. Happy, celebrating, people coming together, joyousness, merriment. These people are having a damn good time. And that tells me that there's something to celebrate. So when I say, like, hey, all these energies are aligning and we have this at the end, that's always great. The Four of Wands is also one of my biggest cards of omens, signs, synchronicities. So you might be seeing more repeating numbers and signs than you normally do. Even if you see them on a regular basis, I just love this energy. Very spiritual, very karmic as well. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Scorpio. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Nine of Pentacles, see what that's about. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Nine of Pentacles, please. Why is the Nine of Pentacles here? Yeah, just out of the blue. Out of the blue. So there is a little side warning here that I am going to give to you. But when I see the Seven of Swords, it's just something that's like not on our radar quite yet. Um, So the warning is definitely different from the positive. So I'm going to give you both. So the positive message, Nine of Pentacles, Seven of Swords in the upright. This could absolutely be an unexpected, surprising, or even shocking winner victory. One that's just completely out of the blue, where it's like, whoa, my mind wasn't even there. I'll take it though. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. Now, there's a very particular message for some Scorpios out there. There's something about being very aware of your material possessions for some reason. Because I will say this, the Seven of Swords could represent thieves, it could represent untrustworthy individuals or untrustworthy things. So, like, when I see the Nine of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords, it's like, all right, watch out for someone trying to sell you short. Watch out for somebody, like if you're negotiating with somebody about something, make sure they're not lowballing you. Watch your possessions, your money and stuff like that. To me, it doesn't feel like you're losing it, but there's like this energy here that feels like it's either trying to lowball you or make away with what's rightfully yours monetarily. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. Aside from that, it's great, right? Unexpected winner victory. But I know that those were two totally different sides, but you know me. When I feel something, I'm going to give it to you. And I feel both things here. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Know what you are worth. Know what's yours. That's a big thing. So let's see what the Knight of Cups has. So why is the Knight of Cups here? Okay. Yeah, just like I was saying, know what's worth your time and know what's not. So we have the Eight of Cups in the upright underneath this Knight of Cups, and this to me, it's like, all right, I'm assessing where I put my attention. I'm assessing where I put my intention. I'm assessing a lot of things right now, and if it is not fully serving me, I'm not going to give energy to it. Like there's something here where it's like if it's not fulfilling me, it has no place. Which again, I know Scorpios normally don't BS like that. Like if something's not really serving you, something's not really working out for you, I know how Scorpio is. Like, yeah, it could take us a long time to let go of stuff, but this energy here in the center, it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep it moving forward. Now, hopefully, this is energy moving in a good direction. Because remember, the Eight of Cups isn't just walking away, it's walking towards the Nine, right? It's not just walking away from the Eight, it's walking to something even better. So, yes, we got a split message here. Sure, a bit of a split message here in the center. So, depending on your situation, either you are heading in the perfect direction and something is going to go fantastic for you, you're on the right road, or you might just need to really analyze your worth, um, what deserves your attention, what doesn't, and things along those lines, whether that's emotionally or materially. There's something here about always knowing your worth. So let's keep going. I like where the energy's going though. Like it to me, it feels like two readings in one. So for some of you, it might be about two totally separate things. But I'm feeling more positive than I am negative. So let's go in on the magician. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the magician here for Scorpio gang? Why is the magician here? Yeah, and just the absolute magnetism, my friends. The absolute magnetism in full display. So we have the Knight of Wands in the upright underneath this magician. And it's not like one of, I mean, it could be for some of you where it's like, okay, well, it's when I finally don't want something, that's when it comes in. Or it's like, I don't need for anything, therefore I get everything. It's like one of those, which I find really unique. So the magician is very magnetic. The Knight of Wands is an energy coming towards you. So to me, it feels like you're going to have a choice to make in a good one because there's like a lot of energy coming at you magnetically where it's like I don't even have to try. I don't even have to overdo it. Like this energy, it's going to come one way or another. And just like I was saying, to me, it seems like energy is aligning, stars are aligning. I still believe that to be the case. That for a lot of you, certain things are just lining up perfectly, even if you don't see it right now. So the Knight of Wands is a bit of a faster mover than the Knight of Cups. So, what could this be telling us? Could people be coming your way? Yeah. I mean, that could be a good or a bad thing depending on the people, right? So it's like, here they come. Or it could be a situation, here it comes. Like, to me, all the magnetism is just pulling things in. So maybe that's why we have this energy here about self worth, knowing what's worth your energy, what's worth your time is valuable. You are valuable, like knowing this. And if you're a cross watcher, the same applies, right? I'm not just saying this only for Scorpios, but there's an energy that seems to magnetically move towards you. And it's like the less needy you are about it, the easier it comes. And I hate to say that, but that's just how it feels. But I think there's massive wins and victories and blessings here. Let's go through and do a quick recap, and we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, we got separate readings. I guess it's like a bonus because we got multiple readings in one today. But position number one, we have the Nine of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords in the upright. So again, this could be a win, victory, blessing, completely out of the blue, unexpected, surprising, shocking, whatever damn label we want to put on it. For another portion of you, there's something here about knowing what you're worth. So is somebody trying to lowball you? Is somebody trying to negotiate with you? Is someone trying to take something that's yours? Just watch out for any of that stuff. And knowing your worth, very important. Knowing when to walk away. Knight of Cups, Eight of Cups, also very important. Knowing what serves you, what's a drain and what adds to your life, what is pulling from you and what is giving to you. Super important. And of course, all relationships and all situations should be balanced. It's all give and take. But if it's always give, 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 and you're tapping yourself out, then you already know. But at the same time, it feels like you're on the right road and the energy's moving in the right direction for these wins and victories. Moving to the back end, the magnetism shows up in full force. We got the Magician, Knight of Wands in the upright. So again, manifest, pray, meditate, put your intentions out there. And it's like the less you need it or the less you want it, the easier it comes. So maybe that's some advice for some of you. If there's a situation or something you've been trying to manifest, it's like, all right, well, the less you put into it, the easier the energy comes. And that, I know that sounds like a double negative, but that's just how the energy feels to me. And it could be people, situations, things. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. A lot of good stuff. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Scorpio gang. What do we got? And yes, this is where I like to pull one shadow card just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get it going here. What do we got for Scorpio gang? Thank you. Hanged Man. Okay, and to me, it's like you don't even have to try hard at something, which might sound like the total opposite advice that some people would be giving you. Now, the Hanged Man, this is one of the cards I also link to Scorpio. I also link it to Virgo. I also link it to Pisces. You know, there's some readers that only pick one. I give it to all three of those signs. So if you're connected to any of those placements, here it is. But the Hanged Man is very similar to the Hermit. It's retracted. It's pulled back. It's extremely analytical. It's keeping an eye on something. So when we get back to that message we had very early in the beginning about being very sharp, seeing things clearly, this hanged man fits that pattern and theme. But to me, and I'll give you the shadow side too. I know I might be coming off way too positive for the shadow. To me, it just feels like you don't really have to do much or change your direction at this point. Right? You know how life can be. Sometimes you got to call an audible, you got to call an alternate play. To me, it feels like right now, hold firm with something. That's super important. Now, if we're looking at the challenge of the Hanged Man, this could also represent something that is still under the skin, so to speak, something that you can't quite let go of. But I don't think this is bad. It's just like, all right, just keep an eye on it, Scorpio. Keep your eyes open. So that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The November subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. You'll see my digital calendar is open for the month of November. They're filling up pretty quick, so if you'd like to have a chat, come over and see me. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of a lovely deck. It's fairly new. It's called Tarot of the Woodland Wardens. It has a whole bunch of fluffy critters. It's really adorable. I think everyone would like it. So if you like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, since it is November, what are you most grateful for right now? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.